My name is Regine L. Sawyer. I'm the coordinator and founder of the Women in Comics Collective International. We support women and gender non-conforming folks of color working in the comic book industry.
When you see a need, fulfill that need, create a space for those who need that need, people naturally gravitate to you and your cause. And there's a reason why Regine Sawyer is so well respected and looked up to by many women in the comic community. Regine, a young girl with a deep passion for comics, was encouraged by her painter mother to read everything, including comics. She used to read the funnies with her father all the time. But then, her brother introduced her to X-Men, and that's where it truly began. She's spending countless hours imagining her own characters and stories. Her creativity was so remarkable that she even managed to get her mother to pitch some of her early character ideas to the head of Marvel Comics. Unfortunately, when Regine got older, she's hoping to find a real job, she pursued higher education. She went to college, but she actually used some of her comic stories to get in by changing her comic book characters and creating prose that helped her get into college. When she was in, she got a degree in culinary arts, in technology and management. After graduating, she secured a managerial position in one of those real jobs. But then in 2006, she crossed paths with Rob Taylor of Superhuman Works, an independent comics. She actually ran into him while she was at the comic shop talking about going back to school to get a degree in cartooning, and he overheard the conversation. This encounter reignited her passion for comics, particularly after she accepted a job editing their scripts, scouting and reviewing art submissions, and arranging their convention appearances. And after years of doing all of this and all of these tasks for someone else, she realized that she could be doing this for herself, and that it just might be her true calling. And so in December of 2007, Lock It Down Productions came to be, a small press company focused on comic books. Now she could create her own stories with no strings attached and no one looking over her shoulder. LDP actually debuted at New York Comic Con in 2008, and Regine wrote and published several comics. And in May of 2012, she was actually able to moderate a Women in Comics panel at Bronx Heroes Comic Con. After that convention and the convention season was over, she realized that women in comics, despite their creativity, were still drastically underrepresented, especially women of color. That was when she decided to create WINC, or the Women's in Comics Collective. She reached out to creators such as Sarah Dooley, Delia Gable, and Jody Tong, and they co-founded the collective together. WINC is an all-inclusive space open to all women and aims to be a platform for women in comics and related media to promote themselves and their work. It places particular emphasis, though, on more marginalized communities of women. And so what was initially a single panel in 2012 rapidly expanded into WINC and then also rapidly extended its reach internationally. WINC hosts panels, exhibits, shows, conventions, exhibits at libraries, and at cultural institutions across the US. Membership has diversified, encompassed writers, artists, colorists, letters, educators, librarians, cosplayers, web series creators, toy makers, bloggers, journalists, event producers, and photographers. And Sawyer herself noted many talented workers were working in the industry, but were simply unknown. I say that all the time. WINC's mission is to change that by fostering visibility, recognition, and opportunity. By launching the Women in Comics Collective International, she addressed systemic underrepresentation, building a network that offers mentorship, visibility, community, and concrete resources. By founding Lock It Down Productions, Regine created opportunities for women creators, particularly women of color, to tell their stories. Regine also had two art exhibits, one being a Comics in the City Sequential Art Is exhibit, which celebrated the artistry of comics from the lens of what it means to be an individual artist, proving how comics is a medium, not a genre. Lock It Down Productions is a small press comic book company, and it publishes amazing sci-fi and horror comics while hiring predominantly women in the positions as artists, writers, etc. Regine's most well-known stories are probably Rippers, which is a story she actually started writing at 17 years old. Her passion for the story culminated in its completion when she finally returned to the world of comics. The series revolves around Rhiannon O'Carroll. Rhiannon is an intergalactic bounty hunter who finds herself entangled in a web of accusations for a crime she didn't commit, or at least she doesn't remember committing. She works for a government agency which is dedicated to dismantling criminal organizations, and it's a narrative that seamlessly blends horror and urban fantasy and a captivating, unique atmosphere. Rippers actually made its debut at New York Anime Fest, and the intriguing storyline really seemed to resonate with people. It alternates between Rhiannon's present predicament, where she's in a maximum security prison under constant surveillance by an android named V, and her past, where she assumes the greater responsibility as head of the Optimum Risk Division. In this role, she embarks on her first mission, only to suddenly face challenges and setbacks, leaving her and her crew, including her friend and supervisor Alec, in this now precarious situation. The other story that she's known for is Eating Vampires. Eating Vampires is about Evelyn, and she's part of the last race of healers. She's protected by a vampire-eating guardian, a battle guardian from a sect of purifiers. And then all the realm's worst nightmares unfold, which leaves an 11-year-old Evelyn as the last remnant of a once very powerful nation. Her guardian go on this perilous journey to keep her safe, adventuring into some of the most dangerous places. Very engaging, blending horror and humor in this case, with strong character development, especially for the protagonist. It's additionally a very unique take on vampire lore with some fresh perspectives, and maybe doing a review on it on the Melanin Minds website in the near future, so I'm not going to get too into it. So, throughout all of her years, Regine has been a 3-time Glyph Award judge and a 2019 Glyph Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. She's also a National Book Foundation Writing Camp Fellow. So that's a little bit about Regine Sawyer, a waymaker in the comics industry for women. As a Black woman, she definitely deserves to be put here. And so I wanted to celebrate her as the start of this Women's History Month series that will unfortunately probably end up going into April, because I started recording so late because I just was still trying to get myself together for the year, and I'm very behind. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please comment below if you would like to know anything else, or if you have any suggestions, because I am thinking about keeping the series going after I finish this 4-part series for Black History Month. After I finish this 4-part series for Women's History Month, I am considering keeping the series going, because there's a lot of amazing Black women out there that deserve videos on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to hear more. I also interview Black women who work in the comic and manga community. Every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time is when those videos go live, and so make sure you are checking out these interviews with various women of all levels that are working in the comic industry, if you would like. Also, make sure to follow Melanin Minds on Instagram at melaninminds24. And however, if you're looking for comic books written by me, you can find those at Midnight X Comics everywhere except for Facebook and YouTube, where it's just Midnight Comics. I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, as I always say, a small spark can become a huge blaze. And I will see you guys on the next video.
People, they get to the conclusion of, like, it doesn't matter if I want to draw characters for representation.